Hey everybody, this is my first YouTube video, and what I want to do is compare the differences or similarities between a 22 Magnum bolt-action rifle and a 17 HMR bolt-action rifle. I happen to own both, the first being a 22 Magnum made by Marlin, bolt-action stainless steel. And today we'll be shooting the CCI Maxi-Mag hollow points, 40 grain, which shows it traveling at around 1875 feet per second. My second rifle is a Savage HMR, and I'll be shooting the 17 grain VMAX made by Hornady. It's traveling at 2550 feet per second. So right there you're looking at the 22 Magnum that has about double the weight as far as grain over the 17, but the 17 HMR is traveling at roughly around about 700 feet per second faster. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to try several experiments. The first experiment is shooting 2 jugs of water, one with a 17, the other with a 22 mag. We'll be shooting at a distance of roughly about 50 yards. We could go 100 to 150 yards, but I don't really want to do that. Now, this is not that scientific, y'all. So, it's just simply in my backyard, my range that I have set up here. We do a lot of shooting back here. This is just for my benefit, and I was going to do this anyway to see the differences between the two. And I figured, hey, why not make a video about it? Okay, this was the 17. You can tell where it went in. Hopefully you can tell right there. It's like where the bullet went in. And this is where it came out. Alright, that was a 17 HMR. Alright, we're going to do the 22 Magnum next. Okay, this is a 22 Magnum. Didn't hit it as good as I hit the 17. I don't know how I hit it on the side like that. But anyway, there's the hole right here. And it basically just ripped this. That's the 22 Magnum. Again, this is the 17 HMR. Okay, this is the dog food can from the 22, from the 17 HMR. That is pretty nasty. Looks like it, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not sure where it went in. Probably over here, the way everything is torn apart. Let me knock this stuff out. There we go. That's pretty destructive. A 17 HMR, 17 grain, moving at 2550 feet per second. Okay, now we're going to shoot the 22 Magnum and a dog food. We'll see what it'll do. This is a 22 Magnum. That's pretty mean, to be honest with you. You got the 17 here, 22 Magnum here. That 22 Magnum, honestly, looks pretty bad. That's a bad round also. Alright. Okay, the last shooting experiment we're going to do is we're going to shoot two textbooks. One with the 17, one with the 22 Magnum. We're going to back up again at 50 yards, like we've been everywhere else. And we're going to see if it'll shoot through two hardcover textbooks. I'm sure it will, but it may not. I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Alright, what I did was I shot two textbooks, 17 HMR, 50 yards, 22 Magnum, 50 yards. Neither one penetrated both books. Both of them went through the first textbook. Both of them went about the same distance. Again, the 17 and 22 Magnum. Both went about the same distance, so it seems. Yep. Before stopping. Which is not too bad. To sum up everything, you saw what I've done out here, what it did to dog food cans, water jugs, books. To kind of sum up everything, in my opinion, again, this is not an official experiment. This is simply on my home range here in South Georgia. I've shot the 17, 22 mag. I've loved the 22 Magnum on them for a long time. Shot a lot of squirrel, a lot of rabbits with it. I've shot a few with the 17, not as many. I found the 17 to be as ballistic and as deadly as the 22 Magnum. The thing I do like about the 17 though is that at long distances, 100, 125, 150 yards, it just seems, again in my opinion, that the 17 shoots truer, flatter, it's hotter. It's highly accurate. I don't think I've ever owned a rifle ever that is as accurate as this 17 is. You can shoot a quarter at 100 yards and it'll put a hole right through the quarter. Makes it look like you took a drill and just drilled a hole through the quarter. The quarter's not bent. The bullet's moving so fast and so hot it just puts a hole through it and keeps on going. I've never tried that with the 22 Magnum, but I know what the 17 will do. Again, the 22 Magnum is shooting a 40 grain bullet. The bullet is twice the weight as the 17 is, but in these little experiments here, it can keep up with it, even though it's moving about 700 feet per second slower. The 22 Magnum's always been a hot round, has always been a really good gun for small game, rabbits, squirrel, just things like that. That's all I've ever shot with both of them. The reason for doing this is I've always wanted a lever action rifle. I'm in the process of probably going to buy one. Probably an Old Henry. Old Henry has both calibers, the 17 and the 22 mag, as well as other calibers. And I was kind of tossed, you know, which one should I get, the 17 or the 22 mag? And I'm going to be shooting the lever action 50, 75, 80 yards, something like that. 80 yards, maybe 100 yards is going to be my furthest shot. I'm not going to scope it. It's going to be iron sights only. And I think right now, and looking at the 22 Magnum and how it really just keeps up with the 17, I think I'm going to get this lever action 22 Magnum. I mean, the 22 Magnum, again, is a very good round. It stays right there with the 17. If you've never shot a 17, you ought to try it. Again, it is the most accurate rifle you'll ever put your hands on. I cannot shoot as accurate with that 22 Magnum as I can with this 17. Even when I had a scope on. I do have a scope for the 22 Magnum. I just recently took it off. But to me, it's not as accurate. It'll put them in there, but not like the 17 will. I hope you learned something. I did. Again, this is my first YouTube video I've ever made. So please be kind with your comments, but let me know. Let me know what you think. And until later.